When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Hi, I'm John Mallison. Welcome to this special edition of Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno this holiday season. Today we're talking about the Fresno Grand Opera and a huge production. It's an undertaking like one that we've never seen before. No phone calls on the show today. Sorry about that. Happy holidays. I can't wait to get to our show and our two guests right here in the studio at Ventura TV. Welcome back to the program. It is Arts and Culture Day here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno from the showroom floor at Ventura TV. You're watching us on Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6. I hope you're having a very wonderful and happy and healthy holiday season. And a huge production coming up. We want to give you some advance notice on this because after the first of the year, on January 17th, guess what you'll be able to see? You'll have a chance to purchase tickets to one of the largest productions, one of the longest Broadway running hits. They made a movie of it. We saw what happened at the Academy Awards. It's called Les Miserables. It's coming to Fresno January 17th at the Fresno Grand Opera. Now this production is huge. It's one of the largest undertakings that the Fresno Grand Opera has ever tried to produce on its own. It's $1 million production. Now remember, Les Mis started back in 1985 in London. It moved to New York to Broadway, I believe, in 1987. But you know what, my friends? January the 17th, you'll be able to see it here in our great city of Fresno. I know you know Les Mis. You've seen the movie. Many of you, I'm sure, have seen the movie. You've seen the production. But let's take a quick sneak peek on what you'll see here in Fresno on January the 17th. Live in our studio right now is T. Nguyen, the Associate Director of the Fresno Grand Opera, a great man. Alongside him, Ron Eichman, the General Director of the Fresno Grand Opera. This is their second appearance here on Connect with Me. We're so glad to have them, but I'm sorry to say we have no phone calls today. The show is on tape. It's a special production of our own. It's a holiday special here on Connect with Me. January the 17th. I'll give you time to write that date down. 17, 18, 19. It will be Les Mis at the Fresno Grand Opera. We'll talk about where you can purchase tickets. Our program continues here on MeTV Fresno in just a moment.
1 Adam 12. One Adam 12.
This is Adam 12. It stars Martin Milner as Officer Pete Malloy, Kent McCord as Officer Jim Reed.
One Adam 12, roger.
This black and white patrol car has an overhead valve V8 engine. It develops 325 horsepower at 4,800 RPMs. It accelerates from 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. It has a top speed of 120 miles an hour. The automobile has 2 shotgun racks, one attached to the bottom portion of the front seat, one in the vehicle trunk.
You want me to drive?
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
You know, no matter what you thought about the movie and some of the actors that were playing in Les Mis, the movie, and then the Academy Awards, we saw that, the tremendous production on stage. It was live, we saw it, and there were a lot of comments, some negative, some pretty good comments. But, you know, the Broadway special, the production of Les Mis, you can't argue with it. It is so incredible, and what an undertaking for the Fresno Grand Opera to take this on. It's incredible. T-Win, always good to see you. Happy holidays to you.
Thank you.
Ron Eichman, happy holidays.
Happy
How
holidays.
are ya?
Great. Doing
Good.
great.
Let's start with you. How are ticket sales going? Pretty good?
Very good. We started out very well, and we're about 66% sold out. So there's a little bit of tickets left, and we expect a complete sellout on this show.
Yeah, and you know, I said the movie, no matter what you think of the movie, this production, Ron, is long and running since 1985, started in London, went to Broadway. You can't argue with Les Mis. It's one of the greatest of all time. There's no question.
It is. It's the most popular musical the world has ever known. Can you believe that? Over, I think, 65 million people have seen it. But what is really exciting for us is it has been reimagined. And in the last 3 years, it's an all-new Les Mis. So
How so?
Well, if you haven't seen it in the last 3 years, you really haven't seen it, which is interesting. It's been streamlined a bit. The orchestration has been changed. The storyline is more clear now, so it's easier to get a deeper connection to the storyline. And T and I have seen it now across the country about 4 times. It's
the new version.
The new version.
Okay.
It's extraordinary. Yeah. And what we'll be producing here in Fresno will be akin to the new version, kind of cueing off of what was done with the movie when it opened last year.
You probably know this musical inside and out. You've seen it so many times over the years, right?
Pretty much, yes.
You pretty much know the ins and outs of it, what the actors are supposed to be doing and where their place is supposed to be on stage, and when a certain particular song comes up at a certain time. You know all of that, right? Off the top of your head? I'm sure.
Pretty much, yes.
Pretty much. You'd have to, right? I mean,
yes, but you know,
Precisely.
in our production, those things are going to change a bit. So it's going to be new.
How so?
So we get a chance to create a brand new original work with this as well.
Mm-hmm.
So those placements where the actors are and et cetera will be different than what we've ever seen. So we're allowed to recreate the piece, which is very exciting to do. And so it'll be a different version yet no one's ever seen.
Yeah. Before we get into further questioning, I want you to inform our viewers, either T or Ron or both of you, January 17th, 18th, 19th. I want to promote this as much as I can. Where can they purchase tickets?
Great.
How can they purchase tickets?
You know, the simplest thing is to go onto our website and buy at fresnograndopera.org. You can buy online 24/7. And it's really the simplest way to do it. You can also call our office, 442-5699. But we encourage people to go to the website because you can actually see exactly the seating that's available and you can pick what you want.
Right.
Very nice.
Good for the heart and soul to see this?
Absolutely.
Why so?
Well, it's a great story, first of all. And with the new reimagined version, the story is less about, the negative aspect of the story, the depressing aspect that I consider, and more about the hopefulness and the love story that took place, and all the things that took place to create this experience of this life, how this life is really worth it. To even though he has gone through tremendous loss, he's able to reinvent himself and create this wonderful life and save a life.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I wrote this down via memory, okay, and we all know that's fading a little bit here in the last couple of years. Anyway, that's a joke. Set in the early 19th century in France and features the story of Jean Valjean. He is a peasant in his quest for redemption after being jailed for, 20 years, something like that?
Yeah.
For what? Stealing a loaf of bread for his starving sister's child.
Exactly.
That's what this whole story is based on?
Yes.
Am I right about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why, over this one peasant, okay, as he is called it. Why has this musical thrived on that one story?
Well, I think it's the storyline stands the test of time. It's a story of redemption, of lifting oneself up in the most trying of circumstances, and in so doing, saving the life of another as well.
He was stealing, but he was stealing in need.
He was, and so there is this. The entirety of the story really speaks to the unfortunate circumstances that has befallen him. He's doing this really out of a goodness of his heart to help others, and he gets penalized for it. And so the story is his redemption, his changing his life, making a decision to completely change his life, and this story follows what he does over the course of actually 3 generations. So the story jumps 19 years, and then it jumps again another 9 years. So you see what has transpired in his life, how he has gone from a guy who was in jail for 19 years to become the head of his own factory and the mayor of the town.
But T, doesn't this story kind of relate to the common man, the common person on the street that could face this very same situation?
No, absolutely. That's the reason why it survived the test of time. It's something we
Because
can
it's
all
real.
relate to. Yes,
It's very real to some people.
absolutely.
They've actually lived it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you think that's the key to success for this thing?
It's a major part of it. Also, it's a story, as a love story that takes place and what could happen. It allows us to imagine what could be, if we just exert ourselves.
All right, we're talking with the one and only T. Nguyen. He is the Associate Director of the Fresno Grand Opera, and Ron Eichman, of course, the General Director of the Fresno Grand Opera. And you know what? We're going to continue our conversation here and talk about why they decided to undertake this incredible $1 million production at the Fresno Grand Opera. January the 17th is when it all starts. We'll be back with our program in just a moment. Stay tuned.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Okay, that was Les Mis, part of what you will see on January the 17th at the Fresno Grand Opera, 17th, 18th, 19th. And it's not just the acting, it is the music that goes along with it. You might be able to act, but if you can't sing, you cannot be in this production. Am I right?
You're right. You're exactly right. I mean, the music is really, I think, a major part of the success of this work. There's so many pieces that are now familiar to everybody that have come out of it. One Day More, On My Own, I Dreamed a Dream. do you hear the people sing? It just goes on and on and on, and it's become a part of our culture, the fabric of our culture, given the extraordinary success of the music that's come out of this work.
Yeah, and the music, of course, it's a story about pain, a tremendous amount of pain, and you can kind of hear it in the music, can't you?
Absolutely,
T?
absolutely.
You can hear it.
You can hear it, and it's one great hit after another.
Yeah.
I mean, most musicals live on one great song, and this one, it's nonstop. It's like you're getting the top 10 throughout the entire show.
Right. Let me ask you, T, why did the Fresno Grand Opera decide to take on this massive production? And I said in the opening that it was $1 million production. Is that pretty much right on?
Yes, it's accurate.
And how many actors, actresses?
Probably about 43 is coming in.
Amazing.
So it's a huge
Why?
cast.
That's the question. It's a massive undertaking.
It is. I think it's our culture. What we've done as an organization at Fresno Grand Opera, we've always aspired to bringing in and to producing what we think is of the highest level of quality, to raise the standard of excellence and what the expectation might be for the Central Valley. And this was an opportunity, a unique opportunity to do that based on the release of the license to regional companies like ours. So up until this year, we were not able to apply for a license to produce this. So it's the first time that this license has been released, and so we chose to see if we could get it. And it's a huge amount of expense to actually even take on producing Les Mis. And when we found out that we could get the license, it was granted to us, we made the decision to see if we could go about putting this animal together. And we couldn't be more excited. It's easily...
Who's in charge of directing the production of this? Would it be you?
Well, the director is Peter Lockyer.
Yes.
Okay.
So Peter is New York-based, and Peter will be actually singing the role of Jean Valjean as well.
Okay, and we do have a small clip of that. So this is Peter Lockyer, and he plays the role of Jean Valjean, and he's going to be in the Fresno production. And there's a small interview that we have that we pulled so our viewers can hear Peter Lockyer, and you'll see him right here in the city of Fresno on January 17th, 18th, 19th. Here is a small clip from that interview.
I'm having a blast and can't wait to see what Vancouver audiences have for us.
Well, you said you're from Toronto, first time performing in Canada must be a huge thrill. And the history of this production, 28 years since debuting in London, and it's been going strong all around the globe.
It's great. Listen, if you haven't seen Les Mis, there's no excuse. And this is a new production. We have incredible lighting. We have incredible orchestrations. We're in your face. It's gritty. It's raw.
All right, Peter Lockyer, why him? What does he bring that you guys were impressed with?
He's the best. That's basically how it comes down. This is the most important role in the entire show, and we had to seek out the best. So he's the leading Jean Valjean in North America. He's sang it on national tour the last 4 years consecutively, and you cannot find a better Jean Valjean on this planet.
Yeah, I know when the Fresno Grand Opera does something, you guys look for the best. I mean, your standard is up here. The quality is up here. Is that your philosophy?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it was very important for us to be able to assess on the front end of this as to whether or not we could engage the cast we knew we needed to engage for this to be a first-rate production. And when we discovered that we thought we could do that, we went about that process.
It's just that you don't accept mediocrity.
No.
You want the best quality possible.
Absolutely, and I think telling to that is 2 of the artists that are singing in the Fresno production will go immediately from our production to the Broadway stage when Les Mis returns to Broadway in March, this coming March, and 2 of our artists will be cast on that. So this is a world-class level cast, and I think that's testimony to the fact of what we've tried to do here to engage the world's best for the Central Valley audiences, that they will then go from Fresno to Broadway. That's kind of a nice
What age
transition.
groups would you suggest see this musical? How young?
My sons are coming in. They're 10, and I know there's other kids from the age of 8, because it's really it's a great story. The music is absolutely incredible. It's very engaging. The new reimagined version moves very quickly. It's just nonstop, and so there's not a point to get bored at all. So I think it's wide open from the age of probably 8 on up.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Well, I think telling to the youth of it is there's 2 roles in the production that are for 10-year-olds as well. So there's that connection between a young audience and what they will see on stage. So very important roles that are being performed by folks of a similar, very youthful age in the production.
All right, talking to Thi Nguyen and Ron Eichman, Fresno Grand Opera. It is Les Miserables, and it will start January the 17th, 18th, and 19th right here in Fresno, the Fresno Grand Opera. Back with our program, and we'll talk about the casting in just a moment.
Remember me?
After practicing law, Raymond Berg fought crime.
You have the right to an attorney.
As a hard-boiled detective on wheels,
Ain't it the truth?
his name is Ironside.
Perhaps you wouldn't mind saying it again.
His name is Ironside.
All right, now you've said it.
Nothing slows him down.
I want to see this one firsthand.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Back here with our holiday special here on Connect with Me, MeTV Fresno, Comcast 187 and 43.6, talking about Les Mis coming to Fresno, the Fresno Grand Opera on January the 17th. Got to get your tickets. Talking to Thi Nguyen and Ron Eichman. How many seats available in the arena there?
Wow, we have 4 shows. So there's a Friday evening show, there's a matinee on Saturday, it's a Saturday evening show, and a matinee on Sunday. So we're looking at 9,000 seats, and we already sold 6,000 seats already.
So they're almost gone.
You know, there's a good amount of seats left. There's some great availability still, but they're moving.
Yeah.
So if you're really considering seeing this show, don't wait. You'll get the best seats.
I would say not. And you know, this would make it for a great holiday gift too.
Absolutely.
No question about it. And how much are tickets, if you want to say?
Yeah, sure. They range from $55 up to $130.
Okay.
So
okay. Depending on where you sit, obviously.
That's right.
Just like any arena.
That's
right.
correct.
Okay, let's talk about the casting, guys. And you mentioned there'll be some local people and some out-of-town people that'll be obviously in the musical when it returns to New York.
Yeah.
How many local members?
I think there's, from the Central Valley, there's about 20. So about 50% of the cast is from the Central Valley, and then 50% of the cast, the other 20 to 24, are from all over the country. Actually, most of them based in New York City.
Was that kind of a mandate of yours to get some local talent involved?
No, I think it's
a little bit.
No, I think we're a local company. I think it's important to give our aspiring young folks who have the ability to sing at this level an opportunity.
Was it hard to find in this area, you know, someone to try to sing at that incredible level?
You know, actually, you know, you'll be really impressed at the talent that we have in the Central Valley. But to give you an idea, we opened up the auditions for these roles, and all of a sudden we're getting 200 applicants coming in.
Wow.
So we had to really streamline to the ones that are really the cream of the crop in our area to do this. And as an institution, part of our nonprofit is education. So this allows these young folks to have a world-class education with the greatest actors and singers on the Broadway stage.
So is this kind of like American Idol, where they come before the judges and they audition?
Worse.
A little bit?
American to get the vote.
Between the two of you, which one is Simon?
Definitely me.
That's pretty good. Go ahead.
I mean, what is fun for that whole audition process is that, yes, we are trying to engage as many of the local artists as we possibly can, but there's nothing local about this production.
Right.
So it is, everybody on the stage will deliver at a first-class, first-rate level.
Okay, it's an ego thing that you have to let them down gently, but listen, if you're looking for quality, it's got to be up here again, guys. You can't settle for this. Otherwise, people expect the best from your organization.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
and we're very kind too. We're very kind
in
letting people down.
You wouldn't want to hear me sing. I guarantee that, my friends. You would keel over if you heard that. But anyway, so when did rehearsals start?
Well, the ensemble started, so by the ensemble, I mean this is a group of about 24 Central Valley artists that are from Bakersfield up to Merced to the north. They came together beginning in early September.
Wow.
So they have been in preparation since that time up until now, and then they will be joined by about 24 other personnel who will be in rehearsal for about 3 weeks.
Here's the other thing we didn't even talk about is the costumes.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that entail to put these costumes together?
It's pretty ridiculous.
I mean, you got to have the acting, you got to have the singing, you got to have the costumes.
Oh, yes.
And it's
Yes.
amazing. It's like a puzzle that you put together.
And it's a very difficult puzzle because we live in a real world, so there's budget items that we have to be concerned about. This can't be a $10 million production. At the same time, like anything else, once you are at the highest level in one point, you want to match that. You can't let it drop.
Yeah, that's right. Well, rehearsals have already gotten underway. There is no question about it. And we do have a small clip from behind the scenes of some of the rehearsals going on in preparation for that debut, January the 17th at the Fresno Grand Opera. It's Les Mis. Here's a sneak peek behind the scenes of some of the rehearsals.
What pretty locks you got there. What luck you've got. It's worth a centime, my dear. I'll take the lot. Don't touch me, leave me alone. Let's make a price. I'll give you all of 10 francs. Just think of that. It pays a debt. Just think of that. What can I do? It pays a debt. 10 francs may save my poor Cosette. Show him what you've got. Old and young. At the end of the day, you're another day older. And that's all you can say for the life of the poor. It's a struggle, it's a war, and there's nothing that anyone's giving. But what they're standing about, what is it for? Okay, let's be living. At the end of the day, you're another day colder. And the shirt on your back doesn't keep up the chill. And the righteous hurry past. They don't hear the little ones crying. And the winter is coming up fast, ready to kill. But they near is dying. At the end of the day, there's another day dawning. And the sun in the morning is waiting to rise. And the waves crash on the sand. And the storm will break in seconds. There's a walk in the land. There's a breaking in sunlight. There's gonna be hell to pay. At the end of the day.
All right, some behind-the-scenes look there at some of the participants in Les Mis, January 17th, 18th, 19th at the Fresno Grand Opera. Let me ask you about, we talked about Les Mis being one of the greatest ever productions. How do you compare it to, say, The Sound of Music, Fiddler on the Roof, some of those others that have been around a long time as well?
Well, I think they're all great standards, John. Les Mis, even though it's approaching 30 years old, still considered more of a contemporary work, especially coming from an opera company where we're producing pieces that are hundreds of years old.
I know.
So for us, it's very much a modern piece of really opera because it's sung through. So even though it may be termed a
Do you
musical,
consider it opera?
We do.
Yeah.
I certainly do. I think
You?
T would too.
By
Really?
definition, it is.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's sung through, meaning that
There's no dialogue.
the story is told through song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The opera, okay, you mentioned the Fresno Grand Opera. Shouldn't anybody who wants to go? You don't have to, be, what's the word I'm using? You don't have to be, what's that? Yes, right, exactly right. You can be a fan of football, basketball, soccer, and still go to the Fresno Grand Opera.
Oh,
Isn't that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be a student of the opera to go and enjoy it.
No. It's great music, and you come to hear the music, and I think that's the key.
And be entertained.
Absolutely.
It is entertainment.
Right.
This is just another form of enjoyment, and in reality, and we certainly Les Mis is not traditional opera, but even the start of opera was the form of entertainment for the masses. So there was nothing relative to elitism in our art form, and certainly it's nowhere to be found today.
I didn't get a chance to see it. I lived in New York for 5 years. Never saw it. Never even came close to. I was so busy working, I never had time to go to any Broadway shows. But maybe I'll take it in. I'll see.
Please take it in.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Nguyen, thank you. Always good to see you. Happy
Absolutely.
holidays. Good health to you. Same to
you.
you, Ron Eichman.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Yes.
And good luck with Les Mis. January 17th, 18th, 19th at the Fresno Grand Opera. That's going to do it for our special edition of Connect with Me. Our thanks to our two guests. We'll see you back here again tomorrow for another edition of Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno.